YouTubers. My wife's been begging me for a camera for I don't know, years. So welcome to my new Nikon with the 16:9 ability. Whoopee. As you can tell, it's either the light or the camera, but anybody who ever listened to Coldplay knows it was all yellow. I'm not going to sing for you. Anyway, that joke sucked, but you want to hear a good joke? Obama says that he's a Christian. I'm not buying it. If you remember, not too long ago, Obama took a big long trip to India, went to Taj Mahal, had a big old spiritual experience, and spent a bunch of money, something like $200 million a day, and took 34 warships and a bunch of limousines and security and yada yada. Well, like I said, it was probably very spiritually enlightening for him. And here's something that I'd like to show you. They say that a picture is worth 1,000 words. Well, I've got just that picture for you. Let's look at this. Alright, so Obama says he's a Christian. First of all, if you're a Christian, why on earth would you allow someone to make a magazine cover of you claiming that you are a god of all things? Being a Christian, you know that you're not, supposed to blaspheme. You know you're not supposed to be prideful, things like that. And to, maybe he's not personally saying that he's God of all things, but if he's allowing someone to do that without, rebuking them for it, then he's letting it slide as if he thinks he's God of all things. So that reminds me of a little story out of Acts 12 here. If you look at, Acts 12:21, it says, Herod sat on his throne dressed in royal clothing and made a speech to them, and the people gave a shout saying, "It is the voice of a god and not of a man." And immediately the angel of the Lord struck him because he did not give God the glory, and he was eaten up by worms and gave up the spirit. So that's an obvious example that God doesn't approve of people thinking that they're a god of any kind, or even letting other people say that they're a god without them rejecting that thought. I'm not saying Obama's going to be eaten up by worms, because I'm sure Obama has a greater purpose in the end time destruction and judgment on America. But this is certainly an example that God doesn't ignore this sort of thing. Now that you've seen that, take a good look at this. Look familiar? This is the Hindu god Shiva. I'm not an expert on Hinduism, but I don't really need to be since it's a false god. This is from About.com. This is their description of that, Hindu god. It says, Shiva is the destroyer, the most powerful god of the Hindu pantheon and one of the godheads in the Hindu trinity. That's not a rip-off of real Christianity, huh? Shiva is believed to be at the core of the centrifugal force of the universe because of his responsibility for death and destruction. And then here's here's the last sentence that I highlighted out of this article. It says that since Shiva is regarded as a high, mighty, destructive power, to numb his negative potentials, he is fed with opium and is also termed the Bol Shankar, one who is oblivious to the world. Does that sound like Obama at all? Anyone who follows politics knows that, Obama just seems oblivious to the world. He'll say one thing and do another. He, doesn't seem to care that his entire Democratic House of Representatives got voted out. He's still pushing ahead his agenda, and his policies don't seem to reflect the will of the people, and that's the way he operates, and it just appears to be obliviousness to the world. So now that you've seen that he's in the same pose as Shiva, doing his little dance, he's got his 6 arms, the exact same as Shiva. let's look at some of the things in his hands. Let's see if he's destroying with some of the things that he's got. You start in the upper left, you look at money. His administration is certainly destroying by, economic means. That's how he even got in office, because of the economic downturn at the end of the Bush administration. And, it turned into bailouts and stimulus and all this kind of stuff. So he's certainly been destroying with economic means. Now they're deliberately causing inflation with, QE2 and all kinds of things. Next thing down, a helicopter. That's certainly military. If America isn't destroying with military, I don't know who is. We've got drones flying into Pakistan. We've got 2 wars that are lasting ridiculously long without any purpose. I was in Iraq myself, and it just seems that people are over there just driving around waiting to get attacked. There's really no purpose to the whole thing. Why are we there? They're just over there destroying, and that also ties in with the economy. It's weakening the economy by just spending billions and billions of dollars on unending wars. Look below the helicopter. There's the world, the globe. I guess that could be thought of as perhaps global governance, or aiming to do things like back in his first year in office, he was trying to go over and do the climate change treaty, and that would have taken money from America and sovereignty from America and put a governing body over the American government, where this outside governing body would be able to legislate to America. There's a few ways you could look at it. It's just, I see him destroying this by just leading us towards, a one world government and one world economy. It may not be in full swing yet, but it's on its way. Look in the upper right, housing. He's certainly been destroying through housing. You can look at Freddie Mae and Fannie Mac, or Freddie Mac, Fannie Mae, whoever's who, I don't know. The administration, even back in the Bush days, was giving mortgages to people who couldn't afford it. They were deliberately setting up the housing bubble to pop. Now there's just a massive number of foreclosures, and people just can't afford to stay in their homes because the housing market's being destroyed. I'm going to skip the dove in his right middle hand. Look at the lower right hand. That's a stethoscope. Obviously healthcare. Healthcare is surely a major player in the destruction of America. The healthcare bill that passed is pretty much a setup for socialism. Once they control your health, and once they control the healthcare and medical, whether it's medicine or procedures, surgeries, whatever, once they control what you have access to, they're certainly destroying by that. They've taken the best healthcare system in the world, which is approximately 1/6 of our economy, and they've put it under the government. And you can see that the government doesn't have a very good track record of running programs, whether it's Social Security, Medicare, unemployment, any number of things. Even the post office, FedEx and UPS are far more profitable, because they're privately run. Everything run by the government sucks, and it costs more than they ever intended, and just the healthcare thing is a fiasco, and it's going to be part of the destroying of America. I saved the dove for last because I think that's going to be the nail in the coffin for America. Zechariah 12:9 says, "And it shall be in that day I will seek to destroy all the nations that come against Jerusalem." So that's why I left the dove for last. He's been on the rampage for peace ever since he came into office. He's made Middle East peace with Israel and the Palestinians a high priority. It kind of seems to be on the back burner right now, but it's still happening. There's still major things going on through Secretary Clinton and all that. But we know, because of what the Bible says, that God will come against any country that is trying to divide God's land and divide Jerusalem. And Obama has definitely been an integral part in dividing the land and pressuring Israel to, stop settlements, stop construction in East Jerusalem, attempting to anyway. And he's gotten many compromises out of Netanyahu to bring about the dividing of the land. Okay, so the point of this video is obviously that Obama is not a Christian, and that he is the destroyer of America, and he's not shy about showing you that. We know from the Bible that he's not a Christian because of the fruit that he bears. His policies about homosexuality and abortion and all this stuff show that he does not bear good fruit. Matthew 7:17 and 18 says, "Even so, every good tree bears good fruit, but a bad tree bears bad fruit. A good tree cannot bear bad fruit, nor can a bad tree bear good fruit." So you can see that his actions don't match his words. Here's some interesting icing on the cake here. Matthew 25:31 starts, "When the Son of Man," who's Jesus, "comes in his glory, and all the holy angels with him, then he will sit on the throne of his glory. All the nations will be gathered before him, and he will separate them one from another, as he divides his sheep from the goats." With that said, do you think Obama's a goat? Take a look at this.